stand in line to face the music and speak with these hands of mine like a pantomime. You on his team and plan to shine, you probably stab his spine. You watch who you stand in front of, you watch who you stand behind.
The bullets protect you. They'll get everybody you play with that chopper, pick niggas up with no warning. It's a slave ship.
Bad boys too. You know when Marcus daughter finna date, I meet Reggie at the door and put a 40 in his face.
Hello. Welcome back to the Speaker on Language Show. And for today's episode, we are going to do volumes ranked and also top 5 volume performances of all time. As you guys may know, the volumes is one of my favorite series in battle rap. Really love Small Rooms. Really love some of the battles that's happened in the volumes. We have volume season coming up. We have volume 10 with 2 volume cards. Very excited for that. Let's get straight into it. Top 5 volume performances. We're gonna do that first. We're gonna start off with the honorable mention.
Hitman still vegan, he be seeing shit is in his head. Still don't like the meat, but gotta eat, so I send him bread. Accent barely, I don't know what the nigga said. Stakeout, he gon' wait, watch better than Jenny Craig. We just
I slapped this bitch. Now it's getting domestic. You standing there with your head down and your hands behind your back. You that used to getting arrested? Paperwork fucked up, so he'll show nobody. I got a fofo. Shotty, it's a solo robbery. I'm laying paper face down like a photo. Copy, I heard him.
Nigga creeping up, sideways the gun to the back of your dome, the pistol squeezing. Bah! The shot perfect. But how you gonna criticize the form if you didn't see it? In your mouth!
I mean, how could I respect frauds? Right. You gotta collect ties. I can't Mrs. Collect call. I suit up for war. You suit up because you think the look is good. You read the good book. My niggas getting booked for good.
But now we're going to get into number 5. We have none other than O-Red's performance against Cortez on volume 2. This was coming off of O-Red winning champion of the year, him having the belt, and a lot of people felt like O-Red and Cortez were in that contention for champion of the year the following year, in terms of like I want to say 7-ish or 8-ish to 1 or whatever. So these were pretty much people of high ranking going into 2018, and O-Red delivered 3 amazing rounds. His first round was incredible with the Zeke from the faculty bar, the flipping Cortez's slogan in the first round, the Dunkin' Donuts door bar that he had, the Sub-Zero. He had so many quotables in the battle. He was just extremely amazing against Cortez in that battle. Good Cortez at that too. So Cortez was really good, but O-Red just matched him or surpassed him each round. So that is what I have at number 5. The 4th performance I have is one of the best performances in the volumes. Is none other than Briz Rothstein against Mr. Wavy. Dominant performance. I think that this is one of, I'm not going to say one of his more important performances of his career, but it's easily one of his more notable ones just because of the quotables, just because of how great he was. Like, we still say this is something I don't need or like, you know what I'm saying? I just thought that he was really good, from the angling, from the great cadences, the great rapping, the performance, have it hanging out the wave like a dolphin fin. Like, he was just amazing in that battle. Really loved that performance. One of my favorite Briz performances I like to rewatch. So that is at number 4. At number 3, we have none other than Chilla Jones' performance against K-Shine, Volume 7. really, really important performance for Chilla Jones' career, solidified him being champion of the year. Even though the campaign was in 2020, one of the clear wins that we'll see from somebody that went against a K-Shine, because when K-Shine was on a run, Chilla Jones had crazy rebuttal in the first, probably one of the more notable rebuttals of 2021. But then he went on to have like an incredible matrix scheme in the first round, talking about Shine being in the small room and what that means, and talking about himself being in the small room and what that means. His third round was really good. Second round was really good. I know a lot of people really only focus on the rebuttal that he had in the first and his first round, but his second and third were also really, really good. And Shine was actually really solid in the second and third round. I just feel like Chilla had a way of surpassing everything that Shine did each round. But that's what I have at number 3. At number 2, one of my personal favorite volume performances, so other than DNA against Mickey Fax, grudge match, right? You could argue this is one of the best volume battles within the volume series. This was also on volume 3. DNA was this is the best DNA of his career in terms of conviction, aggression, performance, cadence, flows, showing his lyricism. His writing was just amazing. Really, really enjoyed this performance. First round, really good. Second round, left earth. Third round, really good as well. He has so many haymakers in the second round. That's the 9 between us. The slip to Mickey. Give McFlurries until the machine down, and then in the third round, where would battle rap be without me? I just thought that his performance against Mickey Fax was just excellent. And Mickey Fax was also good in this battle. I think I might have edged him the first in this battle, but I just feel like you can make an argument that DNA won all 3 rounds against a really, really good Mickey Fax. So that's what I have at number 2. And at number 1, I'm actually going to do something different. I usually don't do this. As you guys may know, I'm more of I like to rank based off of quality and showing separation and dominance between opponents and whatnot. But this would be the first time I'm going to do something like this. At number 1, I have a 1A and 1B. And that's because I have Iron Solomon and Rum Nitty. You can choose who's 1A and who's 1B, but for the most part, I feel like that this battle epitomizes what the volume is supposed to be. I think that without this battle, the volumes wouldn't be as prominent as it is. It was on volume 1. It was, to me, not only is it probably the best volume of all, it's not only one of the best volume battles of all time, but you could argue that it's one of the best battles of all time. You can make that argument just because Iron Solomon delivered a lifetime performance in that battle, and you can make the same case for Rum Nitty too. Really love this battle. Quotables galore. Different styles. You have Rum Nitty with his rapid punching style. Then you have Iron Solomon with his intricate scheming, angling style that he had in the battle. Really, really great battle. Watched it 100 times, probably watched it 100 more. But yeah, that's what I have at number 1. Just Iron Solomon and Rum Nitty, just because they delivered one of the best battles, in the past 5-6 years or so. Now we're about to get into the volumes ranked. The first volume that I have at the very, very bottom is volume 6. Volume 6. A lot of people call this the Sesame Street Corner volume. This was when they were on like a Hollywood set outside or whatnot. You had DNA versus Danny Myers versus Ill Will. And I want to say that this battle was solid. I remember I had Ill Will edging the battle, but it was a solid battle. Then you had Arsenal against Jerry West, another solid battle. Had Arsenal winning that clearly. You had Easy to Block Captain. T-Top was supposed to happen on this card, but it ended up happening on Super Fight of 2021. So that was a letdown because that battle didn't happen. K-Shine versus Pat Stay, RIP Pat Stay. Not a great battle. I mean, Pat Stay was going through something at the time, so his performance was kind of compromised. And K-Shine had an okay performance, but nothing groundbreaking really. And then you also have, to me, one of the more important battles of the night. You had B-Dot versus Chilla Jones, a very, very solid battle. B-Dot kind of had a stumble in the second that messed up his momentum, and then Chilla had a really, really good third round. They both had pretty good third rounds, but probably one of the better back and forths of the night, maybe. That and in between Goods and Geechee Gotti, which was the main event of the night. So overall, you're left with like two good battles, and then you're left with a solid battle between Ill Will and Danny Myers, but the rest of the card was just all right. I mean, that was probably the most lackluster volume that I've seen live. So that's what I have at the very bottom. Right after that, I have Volume 7, just a step above Volume 6. Here you have Tay-Rock versus Averb. That was the headliner, which wasn't really the best headliner, not the best Verb performance, and not the best Tay-Rock battle there. You have the return of Twerk against Jada Nightwing. Pretty entertaining battle. I mean, Twerk dropped the ball in the third round, but still pretty entertaining. His first round was really good. Jada Nightwing rode uphill and delivered a really great second and a really great third. So you had that. You had, as I mentioned earlier, you had Chilla Jones versus K-Shine, which was huge in its own right. You had Arsenal against Danny Myers. That was a battle where Danny Myers out-rapped Arsenal and, showed that he was one of the best. And that was when Danny Myers was going on his round streak in 2021. But, not something I return to often, but it's still a pretty solid Danny Myers performance. What else was on that card? You also had DNA versus Av. DNA delivered a really, really great performance. Av's first caffeine debut, and I thought Av was really solid in the battle. I really liked his first two rounds, but I feel like DNA was just really good. He maximized his rapping time. His every round was just jam-packed full of material. Another notable DNA performance against Av in that battle. And I want to say that was everything. I know B-Dot and Suge did not happen on that card. It ended up happening on a super fight. But yeah, I want to say that was all that happened on Volume 7. Then we go into the next one, Volume 8. Volume 8 was a solid volume. You had JC versus Serious Jones, pretty solid back and forth. You had Chilla Jones versus Kid Chaos, in my opinion, one of the battles of the night. Really, really enjoyed that battle. Kid Chaos has a really great second. Chilla Jones has a really great first. The third, to me, is debatable, but I like both of their third rounds. Chilla with the DJ scheme, and then Kid Chaos with his scheme and like angle about separation and like the writers and trying to make a career lane for yourself. I really enjoyed that third round for both of them. Then you also have DNA versus King Los, which, like I said, you kind of can debate which one is battle of the night, but DNA versus King Los. King Los delivers, in my opinion, one of his better performances that he's had since he's hopped into the battle rap ring. DNA delivers an excellent third. Really enjoy the back and forth between those two. That was a really good battle. You also have Loso versus Arsenal, which is one of the more underwhelming battles on the card, but still solid, I suppose. And then you also have Head Ice against Averb, which I guess served as the headliner. And Averb delivered a really, really solid performance. Head Ice, I want to say I liked maybe his second round, but overall, just a solid battle. But Averb won the battle with a really, really solid performance. But overall, I think we only had like one slightly underwhelming battle on that card with Loso and Arsenal, but I still think the overall volume is pretty good. They went back to somewhat of a caffeine volume-esque setting, so that kind of helped as well. And I feel like you got a lot of great rapping from a lot of different battlers on the card. So that's what I have at that spot. Right after that, I have Volume 2. This is coming off the hype of Volume 1. Volume 2, you had O-Red versus Cortez, as I mentioned, a really, really notable O-Red performance. You had YK versus Mike P, which is a solid back and forth between the two competitors. I want to say I had Mike P edging the battle, but John Cannon had a really, really good second round. And this was also when there was like the service was down for like 3 or 4 hours, and like the stream was cut for a minute. We had to wait 3 or 4 hours for the service to come back up and for us to get the rest of the live stream. So that also happened as well. We also were given T-Top and Big K. I feel like T-Top kind of won that clearly. T-Top had a really good performance, but it was a pretty short battle because they had strict time limits and such. That was Big K's return, and while Big K had a solid lines here and there, I just felt like his mind just wasn't in the battle for some reason. But overall, T-Top had a good performance in that battle. Averb and Twerk, which to me is the talk of the night, just because Twerk had that amazing third. He had a major fight back moment because he dropped the first, right? Verb had a good first round, a solid second round, and then Twerk has a really, really solid second round, and that third just took the roof off the building. So that, to me, that's arguably battle of the night. Then you also have Hollow the Don against Arsenal as the rematch, which I liked Hollow's first round. That was probably the highlight of the battle, but overall the battle just didn't live up to what it was supposed to be. But nonetheless, I feel like Hollow had a really, really good first round. But overall, we're left with a pretty solid volume as well. Volume 2 and Volume 8 are kind of close in that you may get like a underwhelming a battle here and there, but for the most part, there are moments sprinkled around the card to kind of make the card watchable. That's what I have in Volume 2. After that, I have Volume 9, the most recent volume. Really, really enjoyed this volume. I mean, I was in the building for it, and even though it wasn't your traditional volume, it was placed on a platform, stage, or whatever, I still feel like every battle was, for the most part, entertaining. You had Real Name Brandon against Shotgun Suge. You had Vixen against Casey. Really, really good battle. I love the battle between those ladies. You also had Charlie Clips and B-Dot. Really, really solid battle. Enjoyed that battle as well. B-Dot had an amazing third. Clips had a really, really good first. They both had this weird moment where they choked in the second, but the second round was still entertaining because of what Clips was able to do, and B-Dot was able to get his material back or whatnot. So that was still an entertaining battle. You had K-Shine versus Easy. In my opinion, really, really good battle. You can kind of argue that being battle of the night. I thought Shine's first 2 rounds were really, really good. I thought Easy's first 2 rounds were really, really good. They both had okay thirds, but I feel like both of their best material were in the first 2 rounds. But really enjoyed that battle. And I already mentioned Twerk versus Sue Surf. I thought that was, just a dismantlement. I thought Surf just showed levels in the first and second round. Third round, he was in cruise control, but he was able to win that round as well. But overall, I left, the event feeling pretty, entertained from beginning to end. I thought every battle was entertaining in some aspect. So I really enjoyed all the battles. After Volume 9, we have none other than Volume 5. Volume 5 is, to me, one of the more underrated volumes. I feel like we don't really talk about Volume 5 as much, but I feel like outside of Swamp and Ace, which they were supposed to be the leaders of the new school, right? Outside of that battle, I feel like every other battle on the card was super entertaining. I felt like Arsenal and Chess was a really, really good battle. I feel like Arsenal rapped really well. Chess was really, really good. Great back and forth between the two. Aggressive, you know what I'm saying? Everything that you could, all the aspects that you like about battle rap in terms of aggression, lyricism, rapping was in that battle. I feel like Chess rose to the occasion, and actually, in my opinion, that was the first time I felt like he actually beat a top tier opponent. So it was really, really good to see him rise to the occasion, especially in that year, 2019, where that was one of his better years of his career at the time. And he ended the year on a high note with having a really good battle with Arsenal. And Arsenal returned to form after the Av battle, and the weird battle that he had with Cassidy, and kind of came back into the small room and delivered a really good performance as well. So I like that battle. I also like Geechee Gotti versus O-Red, another tense battle, a champion of the year versus champion of the year type battle. Really, really enjoyed the battle. Thought they both delivered really good performances. O-Red returned to form after having some hiccups. He, dropped the battle against Danny Myers on the ban. I think he choked a couple times, but he returned and delivered a really good performance against the reigning champion of the year of that year, and showed why he was champion of the year when he was. Really enjoyed that battle. Battle of the night to me, Chilla Jones versus Rum Nitty. I felt like Chilla Jones returned to URL against one of the toughest opponents you can face. Rum Nitty to me was amazing in this battle. Chilla was amazing in this battle. Rum Nitty was amazing all year, and I feel like it was like he just pretty much matched all that he could do in that battle. And then Chilla Jones really upped his game going into his return to URL. Really enjoyed the battle. I rewatched this battle a lot. Probably one of my top 3 favorite volume battles ever. So great battle. And then we also had DNA versus Averb as the headliner. What is there to say about this battle? I mean, I feel like Averb delivered a really good first, but I feel like DNA wrote uphill and took the second and third. Really like DNA's approach in the third about, the new legends, the new Mount, or I wouldn't say new Mount Rushmore, but like the new people that should be, in the forefront in terms of like the guys that are like the measuring stick. So really enjoyed the battle. Also enjoyed Averb's approach in his first and second round about originality, about, just staying true to yourself, which will kind of become a thing that kind of transcends the battle itself and become an actual thing that kind of makes his points a little bit more poignant, or potent, excuse me. So really enjoy the battle. And that's what I have there. Right after volume 5, I have volume 4. This is when we start to get into the really, really entertaining volumes. Volume 4 was action-packed. I'll try to remember all the battles, but we had Chef Trez against Danny Myers. Really solid battle, great way to open up the night. We had Shotgun Suge against Rum Nitty. Very entertaining battle. Even though I had Nitty winning the battle kind of clearly, I felt like Suge upped his game in terms of his writing, was super energetic. Gave us really great energy, and Rum Nitty's material was just excellent. I mean, that was the start of his amazing 2019. So I really enjoyed, that battle. John Adam versus O-Red, a really, really solid battle as well. O-Red was really good throughout all 3 rounds. John had a really, really good and creative first round with the whole wardrobe thing that he did. Third round addressed the whole bullpen situation and whatnot, but really liked the back and forth. That was a long awaited matchup, and I think they both kind of delivered in that battle. What else? You had Clips and New Jersey Twerk, really good battle. Clips fought through a crazy first round and delivered a good second, a good third. He was fully prepped, fully ready for the battle. His second was really good. And then we all know Twerk's first round against Clips was just outerworldly, just insane. Really enjoyed the battle. This was they called this a mirror match because they were saying that like Clips at one point in time was supposed to be the guy, and then he took a little of a bump here and there, and then it's always a issue about his preparation. And same thing with Twerk. Like Twerk is supposed to be the guy, but there's a situation with preparation there, and then I just feel like they came together and made a really good battle, man. I really enjoyed that battle. And then, like I mentioned before, T-Top and Clean Paper. T-Top dominant performance in that battle. And then you have Arsenal versus Geechee. And Arsenal versus Geechee, even though I said the Arsenal's individual performance might be one of the best performances in volume history, the overall battle was just really good. I just felt like the aggression was top notch, the rebuttaling, the freestyling, the moments. Like Arsenal was just amazing. And Geechee fought back each round. Every time Arsenal delivered a blow, Geechee fought back, and that showed the warrior mentality that Geechee had early on. But volume 4 from beginning to end was super duper entertaining. Really enjoyed all the battles. Can really rewatch all the battles. Super entertaining. Then we get into the final 2 volumes, and at number 2, there's going to be a kind of a shock, just because it's usually the first one is the best one, which you can make that case for it. But I have volume 1 at number 2. Volume 1 is volume 1 holds a special place in my heart because that was one of the few pay-per-views I bought like when I first got out of high school, and I remember just not knowing what it was like, not knowing what the event was going to be like. They're talking about it's going to be an exclusive event, quiet room, such and such, and all that. And I'm like, I don't know, because this is like I guess I've been so conditioned to seeing like crowds and stuff like that, so like I wasn't really quite sure how like a quiet room battle would look. But man, we get in the first battle we get is JC versus New Jersey Twerk, and that was a really good battle. And Twerk delivered a really good second round. JC had a good first and a good second round and a good third as well. A really, really solid battle between those two. Then you get Mike P versus Shotgun Suge. Even though I mentioned that I had Shotgun Suge kind of like clearing Mike P in that battle, I thought Mike P was still really, really good in that battle. His third round was really good. The opener with the you don't want to give a white boy shotgun when you're going through something, like that was a really good battle. Suge was in his bag with his performance, his energy, and his rapping, like really, really good. Then you're also given Danny Myers versus K Shine, a really good battle, super aggressive. It almost feels like they're about to go left, but they keep it rap. Love that back and forth. But this is kind of what separates one and the volume 1 in the battle or the event that I have ahead of it. You get a couple of blemishes, right? I feel like Av and B Magic, right? I feel like Av was really solid. B Magic had a good first round, but the second and third, he just had so much turbulence. It couldn't really get through his material, and it kind of made the battle somewhat unwatchable. Even though Av delivered a really good performance, I just felt like the overall battle just becomes kind of unbearable to watch just because the stumbles and turbulence that B Magic had. And that battle just it never officially got released. I mean, you can find snippets here and there and probably a clip of it on YouTube, but for the most part, like that's kind of how bad the overall like quality of the battle was on B Magic's side. I thought Av was pretty solid, but you have that battle, and then you have the Chef Trez and Chess battle, where Chef Trez actually delivers a really good performance, but unfortunately the talk of the battle becomes Chess turbulence, because he kind of choked it each round, like the first, second, and third. And he had good material too, so that's what makes it even more disheartening. But yeah, like you have that situation, and like I said, Chef Trez had a really good performance from the rebuttal about the chef got clumsy with the meal, and then he had like really great rapping, and he had a Tyrese rebuttal. Like he was really, really good against Chess, but unfortunately Chess just couldn't get it together. So you had those two battles that kind of messed up the momentum a bit. But you were given Iron Solomon versus Rumnitty, like I mentioned, really classic battle, the battle of the night, battle of the year, and potentially, one of the best battles of all time. You're also given Briz Rothstein against O-Red. I felt like that battle was also really, really good. Kind of solidified O-Red's Champion of the Year run, and also Briz was coming off of the Calico situation and wanted to redeem himself. Really, really good back and forth. I think this volume set the standard for what we expect from volumes. Just really good back and forth, really good rapping, and more of a exclusivity type deal where we have like staff and battlers and maybe a couple of fans, not that many. That way we can really appreciate the material that we're getting from the performers. So I really enjoy Volume 1. And I still have like the Watch Battle Live link of Volume 1 somewhere if I can find it. So yeah, love that one. And then at number 1, I have Volume 3. Volume 1 probably has more like competitive back and forths, but Volume 3, even in the battles that like people like that certain individuals won clearly, each battle is just so entertaining. You get Chef Trez versus Loso. A lot of people say that Chef Trez won that clearly, and you know that was one of his best performances. But I'm still entertained by his performance and Loso's performance. Really enjoyed that battle. DNA versus Mickey Fax, like I mentioned before. A lot of people say DNA won that clearly, but still entertained by that battle. I could point to JC versus Av, really, really good performance. Some of my favorite bars that they said in that battle, see that scar much clearer from Av, and then you get the turn Av into a memory lane from JC. Like really, really great battle between those two. Then you're also given Iron Solomon versus Old Red is probably the only underwhelming performance there, but I feel like Iron Solomon picked it up towards the end of the battle, and Old Red was just solid. But I think by that time they were the last battle to go on that night, so by that time they were pretty fatigued, because in between that you still had K-Shine and Geechee, which was one of the first times that Champion of the Year implications was placed on a battle there. So you had that battle. You also still had Briz versus Mr. Wavy, like I mentioned before, where Briz just, you know, had one of the best performances that he could have against a guy that's been calling him out for a minute. You had that battle. And then you had Twerk versus Rum Nitty, which it didn't end up being what it was supposed to be, because you know the scuffle that was there, but at the same time, like what it was headed, and like that momentum was so crazy. Like Nitty's first really good, Twerk's first really good with the jump in, then Nitty does the rebuttal and has a crazy second, and then Twerk is on the verge of having another great second, but then they had the situation there, and then the momentum died down in the third, but still like energy draining battle. And by the time that, like I said, by the time they made it to Iron Solomon and O-Red, people were like fatigued, like they were tired, because the overall night was just filled with amazing moments. Like I can point to an amazing moment in each battle. Like even in the O-Red and Iron Solomon battle, right? Like O-Red had the translation, he kind of ripped Iron Solomon's, you know what I'm saying, shirt, but then Iron Solomon gets the jean jacket and it goes back to rapping. And you know, I just feel like Volume 3 overall was everything we wanted in an event, from a dominant win, from grudge matches, from battles with high stakes like a Geechee Gotti and K-Shine, Clash of the Titans with Nitty and Twerk. I just feel like that event had everything that you want from a volume, and then that's one of the reasons why the volumes are one of my favorite events to ever watch. So, but that's all I have for the top 5 volume performances and volumes ranked. And yeah, we have a lot more content coming out soon. I'm still working on some of the Rapper Pentagon Gauntlet that's supposed to be finished, so we can finalize that. I have a bunch of other collaborative works coming out soon, so look out for that. But yeah, man, we're gonna close out the year strong, and I appreciate all you guys that have been watching my videos this year. So thank you very much. But this is M Lang 4132, and I'll see you guys soon.